The focus tonight is Amendment 5. It's a measure that focuses on judicial reform. News 13's Andrew Ruiz continues his Vote 2012 amendment coverage. Andrew, this amendment has three parts.
It does, Jerry, but one aspect is drawing a lot of attention. If Amendment 5 passes on November 6th, there will be changes to Article 5 of the state's constitution. Opponents of the amendment say it attacks the state's Supreme Court, a branch of our three-legged government.
When you weaken one leg, as this amendment seeks to do, your stool is not going to stand.
The federal constitution differs from the state constitution. On the federal level, the judicial rulings are only governed by the legislature if the legislature passes new laws. Here in the state of Florida, it's quite different. The judicial branch rulings are governed by the legislature and can be repealed by a 2/3 vote. That's a supermajority. Now, if Amendment 5 has its way, it would be a simple majority.
We are simply creating a fair process of checks and balances, whereas the legislature can then repeal a rule that has been created by a body that is not elected.
But the League of Women Voters say it only restricts the court's powers.
The independence of the judiciary is a founding principle in the Constitution. They came from a country where the courts weren't fair, and they wanted to be sure that courts were independent and fair.
Why do you think that if this was so ideal, as you would say, why don't you think that that would have been passed on the federal level?
I can't speak to that. I'm simply saying that as a state governing body, there are a lot of things that our federal government does that we in Florida would not want our government to do.
Amendment 5 also has two additional parts. It gives the Senate confirmation power of Supreme Court justices, just like the U.S. Constitution. Lastly, it expands the ability of the State House of Representatives to review confidential files about judges, even if they're not being considered for impeachment.